Karla, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Brakatehawa, Brakatehawa Shai, Brakatehawa, Brakatehawa Shai, Brakatehawa, Brakatehawa Shai, the water of our Paul, Karkadash. I'd like to give double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone that teach this truth, which I believe through the Holy Scripture is 100% of the truth. Let's do a lesson, really sit and talk, really kind of going off the top. Just watched a movie on Tubi, and it's the story of Solomon Burke. If anybody kind of familiar with that name, it goes. They did a movie about it, maybe about a few years back, called 12 Years a Slave. And the movie I saw on Tubi, I think it was the original movie. It was made in 1984, 86, something like that. But in the movie that I saw, this one versus the one 12 Years a Slave, it just seemed more impactful, more up to, more fitting in with the times of slavery. I think they did a much better job with that movie, the one on 1984. And the lead actor that played it, and it was the guy that played on. He had a series back in the 1980s. I forget his brother's name, but he played Othello and a couple of other. But he was a very popular actor during the late 80s and 90s. I think he played a series called Man Called. Can't think of the name of it right now. But anyhow, movie's pretty good. And while watching the movie, always looking at it through a spiritual lens, try to use it for edification. And Lord will, I could, put together a lesson off of it. But I just want to kind of do this quick take on it while I was still fresh in my spirit, man, because it kind of set me back in that time. The brother, he was Solomon Burke. He was born in New York, so he's born a freeman. And he was a skilled fiddler, and he was a skilled carpenter. So he did side jobs, as a fiddler. Well, anyhow, he played for a lot of these, whites, Edomites, to make money, provide for him and his family. He had his own home, he had his family. And anyhow, he kind of trusted these two Edomites that said, they're going to take him down to Washington, D.C., which, in D.C. was kind of like that borderline. I think D.C. was considered one of the southern states where the slavery was still in existence. And he didn't quite trust them, but they kind of convinced him to go, because he needed the money to go down to D.C. to play for some senators or something like that. Anyhow, they pretty much tricked him, and I think they put something in his drink to incapacitate him. And then, he wakes up, he's on a cargo slave ship, being prepared to be shipped down further south, down to Louisiana to be exact, and to be sold. But the movie's definitely impactful because it kind of, because when he was being shipped down, it shows the Judite woman, what that was being stolen also with her children, and they had this one up there. She had children by her Edomite masters. So the kids are considered tares. They're Edomites, and it's one of the women's sons. He passed once he got down there. The one that had he had the children by the slave master. The Edomite. Well, so she started losing her mind and all that. It goes further into the movie. Anyhow, Solomon Burke, he gets sold into slavery. Him and this other woman, they're all on the same plantation. Anyhow, he's going through the cycle of being a slave and trying to, get broken into being a slave and calling, on his masters and his masters, having to call them master. It's like a shock to him, but something he has to adjust to. Either if you don't do that, they're pretty much going to kill him, or damn near beat him to death. But So one of the slave women that came down there with him, you know, she felt she had an interest in Solomon. You know, now mind you, he still had a family that's still back up in that was back up in New York that was still looking for him, his wife and 3 small kids. But so he didn't want to get in a relationship, and I was kind of putting myself in that position and make me think, you know, why the hell would he want to, you know, date this other, you know, woman that's in bondage with him, you know, this Judite woman. And you know, why would you want to date? Because, you know, if you get in a relationship, you know, both of you are still in bondage, you know, she can be sold or you can be sold at any time, you know. Or what if you have a child by this woman and then your child is going to be in slavery, you know, a whole another deal of circumstances. And so I kind of understand, you know, in the movie, his reluctance to get in a relationship with her. But he did. He ended up getting a relationship with her, and that kind of led to other problems further down the line in the movie. But and it just kind of reminds me of how we are today, man. You know, we still in bondage, man. Jake don't realize we still in servitude up under our masters, man. Even though Solomon Burke, you know, he was still so-called a freeman, really he was still in bondage because, you know, he was still under his the Edomites rulership, you know, which we pay servitude to. Same thing as today, man. We still in bondage under this devil. They just released the chains and shackles off of us, you know, but we still under bondage of this man, you know, because he has where he used contracts to bind us in these in our servitude towards him. And plus we have to pay tributary to him, you know, anytime we work or anything we do. But so it kind of makes you think like we still in bondage, so why the hell we want to even get in a relationship or have children in this society, man? Because we have no control over them, you know, especially now, the way things really are now. You know, they can, you know, the women being so corrupted and so programmed by Esau Edom, you know, she's definitely our enemy during these times. Why in the hell we want to get involved in anything like that? But so I understand his reasoning also. But one of the most impactful part of the movie, you know, when he had the when they finally, you know, he was in servitude for 12 years, you know, he finally got a letter out. They was able to come down there and somehow miraculously able to get Congress or somebody to act to get him out of his bondage, man. So one of his friends, you know, which was the Edomite, went down there and got him out. And then one of the most impactful part of the movie is when they came and got him, and he was in a slave plantation. And, you know, the other slaves, you know, they kind of looked up, you know, they digging in the field, you know, they working their asses off from, you know, from sun up to sundown, and they stop, you know, and they watch and they see him leaving, you know, so you can imagine the feeling, how it had to be for them to see one of theirs going, you know, and how it had to be for him to have to leave them, you know. But yeah, so I kind of relate that to us, you know, Lord will, we are the elect, man, that we're going to be delivered up out of here, from out of the hands of our oppressors, man, by Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah. And he's going to come and gather up his elect, you know, that he find worthy to be redeemed, man, and give us our freedom papers, man. That we can be, you know, we're going to be freemen. We're going to have our own name, our language, you know, these new bodies, everything. You know, removed from under the servitude of these heathens, man, these devils, these Edomites that rule over us. So if you get a chance to watch the movie, man, it's on Tubi. Solomon Burke, and like I said, you know, we might know it, you know, in modern time as from the movie 12 Years a Slave, but very impactful movie. And I, you know, Lord will, I get a chance, I get the book and read the book. I think the book is going to be pretty impactful as well, because, you know, he wrote the book. He was explaining at the end of the movie how he's almost lost the words, you know, from being in servitude for 12 years, but he knew he had to write a book about it, You know, hopefully it helped out, help spur the other slaves, for their freedom, you know. But yeah, it's a pretty good movie, man. You know, them devils, like I said, they didn't really let us out of slavery. They just kind of transitioned us over to these factories, man. Especially up north, that's what it was all about. It wasn't about freeing us. It was about transferring the power up to the northern factories, because it's going into the industrial age. And now we're going to a digital age, and it's getting to the point that they don't really need us anymore. So that's why they're trying to destroy us. But Lord will, man, this lesson, is edifying, definitely inspiring. And with that, say shalom.